Why do you want them to listen to your podcast?
So that when they think about starting a business, they've got the content that is pointing them in the right direction.
That is such a valuable piece of advice there.
The change in mindset makes a massive difference. Welcome to... Are you thinking of leaving your job to start a profitable and enjoyable lawn and garden business? Aussie Lawn Stars shares stories, lessons and advice to help you grow a healthy, productive, efficient and sustainable business. Got questions or want more information? Contact Aussie Lawn Stars at iCloud.com or reach out to Gary Ashton on Facebook or Messenger for personal help. But beware, your question may end up in a podcast episode. For business coaching that ensures the right mindset and decision-making approach, check out Think Tank Coaching. Their website is https://thinktankcoaching.com.au. They've been instrumental in helping me and can guide you towards achieving your business goals. You can also email them at thinktankcoaching@outlook.com. Need to set up best practices for bookkeeping, accounting and business structure? Contact Adrian from Prosper Financial at 02 4977 3363. And don't forget to join Lawn Mowing Contractors Australia and Australian Professional Lawn Contractors Facebook groups. Great supportive communities focused on our industry.
The Aussie Lawn Stars.
You then get back from your holiday, which we've already spent time talking about. You have to pick up the pieces and get business going again, basically.
Yeah, so we've touched on this before, Gary, and I wanted to touch on it.
Yes.
Before we left for our trip, my brother actually committed suicide as well.
That's yes, we've talked about it before, but
Yeah.
that's
It's sort of part of the makeup for the rebuild, which that's why I wanted to mention it. Because men's mental health is something that I really sort of and trying to help and encourage that area now, because I feel like it's extremely important. I think there's a lot of it happening in every industry, but
so how do you deal with that personally? Seeing that happen, going through the emotions of all of like the trauma for you of that happening, is that would be one of the most challenging things you
it's
face
extremely
in life?
difficult. Extremely difficult. Like, sort of still chokes me up a little bit today, and it will. But I think like it was that year 2022 was tough because we were supposed to be going on a trip to sort of enjoy and rebuild our relationship and have a good time, and there was times I just couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So, and I guess it changed me completely. Like, I never really had mental health issues before that. I had, like everyone has, anxiety and struggles a little bit with things in life and things. Yeah. I think I developed like a depression for sure, like over that year in 2023, coming back to rebuild the business as well, and learning that my business that I'd built over the 4 years that I'd really put my heart and soul into was no longer really there, and my brother being gone. 2023 and 2022, like I was sad, really sad.
So it's sad to the point of depression, though. It's not just feeling sad; it is feeling hopeless. Yeah,
like hopeless is a good word to use. I don't think I was ever depressed to the point where I wanted to kill myself. Which I'm grateful for. Yeah. I can't imagine what what my brother went through, or some other people go through to feel that way. But I was struggling big time to get out of bed, to motivate myself to even just take the covers off. I was happy just to stay there and sleep for years, it felt like.
Yeah.
So.
So, do you find your way out of this, or did your wife or your family help you find your way out?
Actually, I found my way out, but also like my wife was a massive supporter of it. She's always been there by my side. Very grateful for her.
Yeah.
Basically we got home. We're living sort of in Yarra with my mum in our caravan, trying to work out sort of our next move.
Yeah.
And I was struggling a little bit. I was actually subcontracting for Brandon Martins in the Highlands for Thrive Horticulture
Yeah, okay.
through sort of December, January,
Yep.
maybe even February that year, 2023.
Yeah, Brandon's good bloke.
Yeah, he's a good guy, really good guy. I loved working on the properties up there with him. And you know, he's always happy chappy guy, so he sort of made my days as well, like, you know, go quicker and things like that.
Yep.
And I think ultimately what happened was I felt that I needed to work with or for someone for a period of time to get my motivation back. That's where I started. That's where I felt I needed to start.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't motivate myself to go and mow for me. And it didn't matter how much money people were throwing at me, because I still had inquiries coming through the business page that, you know, were profitable leads.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't motivate myself to go there and quote them. I don't know why. I just couldn't.
That's hard, isn't it?
It was extremely hard.
Throwing money down the toilet.
It really felt like it. All my gear was still sitting there, like, even though most of it was damaged and, you know, it was still usable, but it was not like where I left it. It was damaged and wrecked and things like that. So I had all my gear still, 2 trailers and 2 ride-ons and all that.
Yep.
So I had all the gear there to go and do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Couldn't get out of bed. Yeah.
Brandon, working for Brandon, actually helped me get out of bed, because it was like, well, he was relying on me,
Yep.
you know, and I felt like I needed to be there for him. I'll make sure that I was going to work for him and be reliable for him. You know, I'm a loyal guy, I'm a reliable guy. I don't, you know, shaft anyone,
Yep.
especially mates like Brandon. So
Yeah.
I promised him that I'd work for him, and that's what happened.
Yep.
So worked for him for a few months, and then decided the best move after that was to probably go and get like a retail management job back.
Yeah, okay.
Because I felt that was maybe, you know, I was good at it. It was good. It was decent money. Maybe I needed to go back and sort of do that.
Yep. Bit of stability with the
Bit
job.
of stability with job, bit of money.
Yep.
We could then go and get ourselves a rental and things like that. Get out of our caravan type thing. You know, it was not just for me, but it was also for my family as well, to sort of try and support what we wanted to do and rebuild our lives here.
Yeah.
So I worked for a couple of different companies, Adventure Kings in Campbelltown
Yep.
for a bit, and then that was too far to travel.
Yeah.
And then got a job down here at a fuel station franchise.
Yeah.
I was managing a fuel station down here.
Yep.
And that was all right. It started out to be a pretty good job. Lasted there about 5 months. I think I was at Campbelltown for about 2 months, and then 5 months doing this one.
Yep.
And then it was the mental health thing that came up again, I think, that made me leave there.
Yeah, okay.
The company, I don't know, it's hard to explain. They didn't support I wanted to do a Movember event, a Movember thing, and the owner of the company didn't see kindly to that.
Yeah, okay.
That Movember event, and he was a bit of an asshole about it, to be honest. And I sort of was like, how can you not want to support men's mental health
Yeah.
in the truck, because they're in the trucking business as well. Like, there's lots of suicide happening in trucking.
Yep.
I was like, come on, like, really?
Yeah.
You should be on board with this. But he didn't want to.
Yep.
And then also, like, just the politics of management roles like that was all coming in at the 5 month mark. And I was like, you know what, like, I can't do this. This is not where I want to be. So I kicked the business back off again.
Yeah, okay.
That was probably, I think it was actually funny that is, I think it was actually around November 2023 as well. Same as when we kicked off back in 2018.
Yep.
So in the growing season. And I think that was the reason why I was like, business, because it's growing season. We still sort of kept the pages going.
Yep.
You know, I might have been doing like a couple of little lawn mowing jobs like on the side while I was doing the servo stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been asking about which brand of battery tool to buy, and I don't like to recommend one brand of battery for everyone or every situation. Dealer support and access to parts and service all play a big role in that decision. Some brands have better tools for specific needs or each product category. I've been using a variety of brands, and I endeavour to provide unbiased interviews on Aussie Lawn Stars with as many of those product brands as possible. I reached out to Ego Power Plus through the podcast because of how Barry supports the industry and Ego owners. Barry has impressed me with his loyalty to customers in providing support and listening to the needs of the industry, which has resulted in a full lineup of new commercial tools landing in Australia over the last 12 months that has positioned Ego as a leader in the commercial tool space for outdoor power equipment. Visit egopowerplus.com.au to see if they have the tools you need today.
Corey, we were talking about you made the move back to kicking off your business in
Yeah.
November last year, so we're almost 12 months ago.
Yep.
You're still doing some retail work at the same time?
No, at that point it was like I left that job
Yeah, okay.
completely.
So 100% in on the business?
100% back in on the business.
Right.
I was still at that point finding it quite hard to motivate myself.
Yeah.
But I was a bit better, I think, just because I'd put routine back in my life by working a job.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, so things picked up. We're doing little bits and pieces through 2023, 2024 summer.
Yep.
And an opportunity came up to, and I've been talking, I think this opportunity may have come up earlier, to trek Kokoda
Yeah, okay.
with a men's mental health group
Yep.
in Wollongong called Barstool Brothers, or Raising the Bar.
Okay.
It's actually one of my wife's good friends. He sort of started the foundation.
Yeah.
And yeah, this trek is just basically about going on this trek and rediscovering yourself and talking about men's mental health issues and things.
Yep. And you've got a physical goal to achieve while you're doing it,
Correct.
which is a great thing to get your body doing something. It helps to get your mind
Yeah.
back on the right track, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
So I decided to do that. Well, my wife actually pushed me to do that.
Go do it or else, Corey.
Yeah, well, I really wanted to do it, but I was sort of more like, I really want to go on like a holiday to Uluru or something, and that sort of was like taking more priority over the trip.
Yeah.
And my wife was like, you know what, like Uluru is always going to be there. You don't know how, if Kokoda is going to be there at this capacity. You need to do that. It's important. You need to do it.
Yep.
I think she saw, my mental health struggles, and she knew that I needed it
Yeah.
more than anything.
She's a good woman.
She is a good woman. So yeah, we did that. I did that in March 2024.
Yeah, okay.
So still running the business. Put that sort of mowed all the lawns just before I left, I think,
Yeah.
and went on a 10-day or 11-day trek to Papua New Guinea,
Yeah.
and it took us 9 days to do Kokoda.
Yeah, okay.
And I guess I took that as like not just like that trek wasn't just to find myself back and bring my mental health back, but it was also, I guess, my last. For me, I felt it was like my last opportunity to say goodbye to my brother. I think just leave all that there.
Yeah. Wow.
And yeah, that's exactly what I did. We did the trek.
Yep.
I cried a lot with men that I didn't know when I started walking with.
Yep.
But became part of a really good mateship that I have with them now.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And just let go of my brother and let go of my feelings and just and talked about stuff that I was feeling about.
Yep.
And came back and I think it was Sunday, Saturday night we flew in. Sunday I was home.
Yep.
And Monday morning I was like on the computer like doing Facebook posts and just like like the normal business stuff that I had been doing back in like say 2021.
Yeah, so you had the vigour and the vitality.
Exactly,
to go right
yeah.
on,
It just all
on
came
focus.
back. Yeah, the focus, the drive,
Yep.
that all just came flooding back.
Yeah,
And my
nice.
wife, I remember her making me a coffee and sort of sitting on the table to me and said, "It's really nice to have you back." And that felt good. Yeah. That felt really good to hear that from her.
Yeah,
So-
of course.
Yeah.
So, over that period of time, with Kokoda in the middle of it, you're rebuilding your business.
Yep.
So, and let's call it from scratch, basically, by
Yep.
the sounds of it.
Definitely from scratch. I think so.
So, 0 to where you are now, you're getting close to where you want to be at this point in time?
Yeah, I think we probably have only about like 40, I think, regular clients at the moment. We do a lot of like one-off clean-up jobs, landscaping jobs like turf laying, things like that as well.
So let's cover this in terms of what it looks like at the moment, because you were talking about doing 140 customers
Yeah.
previously.
Yeah.
40 regulars and then a lot of one-off jobs.
Yeah.
Is that a fairly full schedule?
It can be.
Yeah, depends on the one-off jobs, right?
If I'm on top of making sure I get in those one-off jobs quoted and through, it depends on the complexity of the one-off job.
Yeah, I was going to say, if a one-off job is pruning a limb off a tree,
Yeah.
that's 5 minutes. But if a one-off job is returfing a yard, that
Yeah.
could be a day or a,
Yeah,
or
so
a week job.
Most of the one-off stuff that I would be referring to is all, garden makeovers, I guess you would say.
So that I'd put that in the softscape landscape.
Softscape, yeah. So like a
landscape,
day,
softscape type stuff.
2 days worth of like clearing all their weeds and shrubs and
Yeah, okay.
getting rid of it, and then mulching things.
So do you do a little bit of hardscaping in there sometimes?
Yeah.
So paving, retaining walls.
I try to stay away from retaining walls.
Fair enough.
But
They're a bit of an interesting one there.
yeah, I mean, like there's certain things you can and can't do without landscape construction licenses and trade stuff.
Hey.
I'm not a trade qualified landscaper, so I try
Okay.
to stay away from the stuff that.
Not
trade
interested
qualified.
in going down that path?
Yeah, actually, I am. I started a landscape trade before I left.
Yeah, okay.
So I've completed 1 year of a construction landscape
Yep.
apprenticeship as well.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
So future Corey?
yeah, future Corey, I'd like to finish that. I think, yeah. 2 more years of trade school and be a
Yeah.
qualified landscaper.
Okay.
I enjoy the gardening, horticulture type of stuff more than I do the hardscape stuff.
Yeah,
The
it's hard to get the
hardscaping,
balance sometimes.
yeah.
It's in terms of getting it where you're really enjoying your job and not over investing in something that's not giving you the joy.
My hardscaping I do at the moment, or I do sort of like big one-off clean-up jobs, is just because they're good profit for me.
Yeah.
So I do that to balance out the lawn stuff, which is, my bread and butter, which is
Yep.
not a lot of profit. It can be profitable if you ask someone like Chris Guillaume, who does 26 lawns a day in 1.6k radius. So I've seen him work, and he's a pretty smooth operator.
At the moment, your business is doing reasonably well.
Yeah,
It's doing what it needs to do for you, but it sounds like you've got some goals for the future still.
absolutely. Yeah, definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're covering your basic lawn run,
Yep.
gardening run, and then your yard makeovers
Landscaping
and
stuff,
landscaping.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I actually have this dream, and I've had this dream since 2019 when I started in the beginning. I want to have a maintenance crew or a maintenance part of the business,
Yep.
a landscaping part of the business, and a nursery part of the business.
Yeah.
And they all sort of work. Actually, and it didn't inspire me. Inspired me on our trip is actually I went to a place down in Lakes Entrance, I think it was,
Yeah.
to pick up a Bushranger battery chainsaw, and I can't remember the name of the business, but it was like my dream, right there. Landscaping business, landscape mulch, yard,
Yep.
nursery, and they had the maintenance
as
crew
well.
there as well. It was like what, and they owned the site, like it was on like one big site.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in your dream, that could well be the reality in the near future. Who knows? Business profit margins and business focus as things which people need to come to their own personal decision on. And
Yep.
where do you find joy? Where do you spend your time? Do you think if you bring this all together,
Yeah.
that your empire would be predominantly built around the nursery with then those other parts ancillary to it? Or would it be you're sitting in the driver's seat of the landscaping or the maintenance?
No, I would probably, I think it'd be based around the nursery. Everything would run out of the nursery, I think.
Yeah.
But I would probably, hopefully by that stage, have, manager of each sort of business,
Yes.
and they would report back to me on
Yep.
how the business is, that particular part of the business is going.
Yeah.
That's the idea.
Yep.
Yeah. Because there's no way I can run 4 businesses
Yeah.
in the driver's seat, like going out maintaining and
Yeah.
selling plants and it's just not like that. You need to build a really good team around you. So, and that's sort of like, I guess I have that experience in the retail area to try and build staff and a good team.
So I think this is an interesting problem that will get people thinking. If you look at the number of customers that a nursery has compared to the number of customers that a landscaping business has, compared to the number of customers that a maintenance business has, you're probably not going to have exactly the same in each business. So it's something where you would find you might have a lot of people walk through the nursery and a very small select client range for elite gardens if you're doing landscaping. Maybe it might be different. And then routine maintenance could cover any number of different categories, and that would determine the size of each of those businesses and how much effort it takes to manage that.
And how much staff, how much resources that business needs and things like that. Yeah, so that's all. It'll all grow obviously as we start to sort of move into that. But my main goal over the next couple of years is to build the maintenance side up, and get 140 clients again. Or roundabouts.
Okay. So aiming for 140.
Yeah.
Fill the books up.
Fill the books up for 2 people. And 70 lawns a week.
Fair enough.
15, 16 a day by 2 people, I think is achievable. Maybe a little more.
Again, depends on the type of the jobs, because when you have varying jobs, they're not all the same size, not all the same time. Or effort.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We want to give the equipment aficionados a bit of a geek out time. Talk about we've already talked about your equipment in the first session a little bit, but let's talk about what you're carrying on a day to day. So your Hilux, your trailer.
So Hilux, running just a small 8x5 cage trailer.
Single or double weights?
Single axle. I'd like to move to a double axle. That's the next.
Singles are good, doubles are good. They both have advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah, the single does well for basic setup. You got your mower and the Caps Pro stuff on the side, and the Defender racks are on the side. We'll carry 3 whips on that, and all our instruments and things like that in there. But if we do any sort of hardscaping stuff where we're carrying multiple papers or anything like that, just can't do it. Can't do a single axle.
Overload. So typical tandem axle will be a 2-ton load, which means the weight of the trailer with product in it can't go over 2 ton. And then you've got to consider your vehicle on it as well as to whether you're actually over your vehicle's GVM.
I've been more looking at towards a dual axle tipper at 3.5 ton.
At 3.5 ton. So then you're moving in dual axle with electric brakes.
Correct.
Yep.
That'll be my next.
So the
cash cannon, as they say.
I think single axles you can go up to about 1.4 ton.
This one is only like 750, 700 kilo, I think, or something.
750 is pretty common.
675,
6.7
GTM.
There you go.
It's pretty rubbish.
So if you get the Bush Ranger,
it does. It fits in there very, very tightly.
Do you know what the weight of your Bush Ranger is?
Couple more than that.
I think it'd be...
I'd say the Bush Ranger would be less than that. The Bush Ranger HD I think is about 400, 450 kilo, around about there.
Yeah. So you with the Bush Ranger on, you're at your limit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely at limit for sure. With the toolbox and everything else that's in there as well, for sure.
And you got a fair bit of Bush Ranger gear, I know. So
you
got when I say the Bush Ranger, we're talking about the 54-inch zero turn.
Yep. So
you got the Bush Ranger self-propelled.
We run Bush Ranger, Lonson, the blade brake.
Yeah.
We've also got another Bush Ranger, Lonson, and we're out the blade brake behind the trailer.
Yeah.
We run the Bush Ranger Multi MT262s on daily.
Right.
So the multi-tools, they're just detach whip zipper, head trimmer. We got basically 2 of everything for that. So that covers every day to day.
Yep.
Yeah, so we have the Bush Ranger MTs that we run on the daily. So like every regular lawns.
Yep.
We also have the big Bush Ranger L451 that gets used for slashing.
Yeah. Big machine.
That very rarely use that.
Yep.
But that's like 50cc engine.
Yeah.
but it's very, very capable machine.
Yep. Ball handles and...
No ball handles on that one. I think you can attach ball handles to it. I don't know why I chose not to, but
it's easier to carry without the ball handle.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to put on your Defender racks.
That's correct. And we also have the stuff we bought from Matt. We bought a Bush Ranger 301, L301 whip snipper as well from him. So that's a sort of mid-range, kind of straight sharp whip snipper.
Yep.
We have 2 BR 9000 backpacks as well.
Yep.
Backpack blowers.
Yep.
And HT 241 hands trimmers.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Yeah, so decent range of tools. And we both caught up at the Bush Ranger earlier this year.
Yep.
So no, I found it really eye-opening to have a look at what they're doing. Bush Ranger, the brand itself, is backed by RGS, which is the biggest distributor for lawn care equipment, gardening equipment
In Australia.
Yeah. So, full props to them. They've done a brilliant job of running the Bush Ranger brand.
Well, they've done a really great job of building it to what it is today, for sure.
Yeah, and that's backed by a business that supports people really well.
Yeah, they do.
Seen that in LMCA, seen it face-to-face meeting them. Yeah.
And that's the whole reason I've run Bush Ranger since the beginning. I've tried Stihl, I've tried Husqvarna.
Yeah.
Every time I've gone to a Stihl shop or a Husky shop, and everyone's gonna sort of hate me for it. They probably all get great service from Stihl and from their Husky dealers, but from my experience when I went there, I didn't get a great deal of nice service. And I did from a Bush Ranger dealer.
Yep.
And then continued on from there with the RGS guys. And when things broke and I needed new things, it was quick, and they had that gear and they had those replacement parts. There, not that it ever needed much replacement parts, but
the dealer is a incredibly valuable link.
Absolutely, a dealer is an incredible value that you have. So, and I think RGS does a really great job of supporting their dealer network, which then in turn supports us as communicators.
For sure.
We need one here, though. Anyone else want to take on a dealership Bush Ranger contract? Because I think they had it in Europe. They might be going into Europe.
Okay, that's not true.
I don't know if that's top secret or not, but might have spilled the beans. I don't know. No one's told me that it's going. I just think that it might.
Okay, maybe a whisper.
Inkling.
Yeah, interesting to see what.
But their shop burnt recently, so they might be put. Yeah, they're still training, which is good. They've got a really great team there at down Mile Centre, and they've been able to get back on with open doors and helping contractors and things like that again. But their shops, the original shop is can't look good.
Not good. And serious challenge for it. Well, Corey, it's been good talking to you.
Yeah, good talking
to you. It's been good to get a bit of insight into your business in your dungeon here.
Yeah, thanks. Welcome to the harbour. I hope you enjoy your weekend here.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.